Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome back, grade 9 students, in lesson number 36. Today in this lesson, we are going to start our unit number 16 as it is the second last unit of your book and it is related with area. Theorem related with area. In this unit, we are going to discuss about review exercise as the only review exercise is included in your smart syllabus. So let's start with learning objective, that by the end of this lesson you will be able to find area of a rectangle, square, parallelogram and a triangle. Then we will learn about the different definition in which area of a figure, rectangular region, triangular region and altitude or height of a triangle are included. So moving on, review exercise 16. Find the area of the following given figures. As you can see, in the first case, the length is given, that is 6 centimeter, and the width is given, that is 3 centimeter. It is basically a rectangle. In the second part, only one side is given, 4 centimeter, but as you can see, all the 4 sides are equal. It means this is a square. In the third part, it's a parallelogram. Okay, so we will see that how to find the area of a parallelogram, and the last figure is of triangle in which base and height of this triangle is given. Okay, so moving on, we are going to solve the very first part of this review exercise, that is find the area of the following figure. So first of all, in part number 1, area will be equals to length multiply by width. Okay, length multiply by width, as 6 centimeter is the length and 3 centimeter is width. So area would be equal to 6 centimeter multiplied by 3 centimeter. So answer, that is area, is equal to 18 centimeter square. Centimeter multiplied by centimeter, it will be centimeter square. Remember to write the unit in each of these cases. Okay, if you skip writing the unit of the area, then definitely you will lose some marks. Okay, so this is the answer of your first part, that is 18 centimeter square. Coming on the second part, this one, find the area of square. So in this case, area will be equal to length whole square, as one length is given, that is 4 centimeter, and area, we know that all the 4 sides are equal. So actually this one is the formula, length multiply by width, but in this case, in case of square, width is equal to the length, that's why we write area is equal to length square. Okay, so area in this case will be 4 centimeter whole square. So the area of this square is 16 centimeter square. So this is your second part. Okay, now moving on the third part, this one, this is a parallelogram. As you can see, this is a parallelogram. Say this is A, B, C and D. So if we revise the definition of parallelogram, in which opposite sides are equal, congruent or parallel. Okay, so in this, AD is equal to and congruent to BC and AB is equal to and congruent to DC. Also the opposite sides are parallel and none of the angle of the vertices is equals to 90 degrees. So it's a parallelogram. So area, first of all, writing the formula for finding area of a parallelogram. So area would be equals to base multiply by height. This is the formula for finding area in case of parallelogram. Now area would be equals to, area is equals to, base is 8 centimeter. Okay, this one is the base. As opposite sides are congruent, so definitely AD would be taken as 8 centimeter. Okay, so base is 8 centimeter and height, what is the height? Height is actually the perpendicular distance from any vertices, any vertex of your parallelogram to its opposite sides. I will explain in the question in next part, that is question number 3. Okay, so in this case the height of this parallelogram is 4 centimeter. So multiplying this 32, 8 4s are 32 centimeter square is actually the area of your parallelogram. Okay, now coming on the last part, this one. So this is your parallelogram, this is your triangle. Okay, in the last case I have done with parallelogram. Now the part 4 is about a triangle. Now first of all, writing the area, formula of area, that is half multiply by base multiply by height. Okay, in all of these 4 parts, remember you have to write the proper formula first and then you will substitute the value, and the last step is to write the correct unit of the area. These are the 3 steps that you have to do in all of these 4 parts. Now putting the values of base, again base is 6 centimeter, 16 centimeter, and height, again the distance from the vertex to the opposite side of your triangle. So the height of this triangle is 10 centimeter, it is given. So if you multiply these 1 by 2 into 16 multiplied by 10 will give you 160 centimeter square. But when you will simplify this, definitely 2 will cancel with this 160 and gives you 80. Okay, so in this case area would be 80 centimeter square. 80 centimeter square is the area of your given triangle. So now we are done with question number 2. Now question number 3 is about define the following. The first definition is area of a figure, second is triangular region, third is rectangular region, and the fourth one is altitude or height of a triangle. Now starting from the very first part, area of a figure. The region enclosed by the bounding lines of a closed figure is called the area of the figure. Now let's learn by considering any shape. For example, I am taking this triangle, say A, B and C. Now remember that AB, BC and AC, these are the different sides of your triangle. Okay, now if you look at the definition, the region enclosed by the bounding lines of a closed figure. In this definition you need to learn about that what is a bounding line. Bounding lines means the sides of your given triangle. These are the bounding lines. Okay, these bounding lines meet meet together, and that's why this is called as a closed figure. This is called as a closed figure. So that's why this is called the area of the figure. The area of a closed region is expressed in square units, that is a positive real number, as we have discussed in question number 2. In all of those 4 parts we have found that the area is in centimeter square. If the sides are given in meter, so definitely area would be in meter square and so on. Now the next definition, that is triangular region. The interior of a triangle is the part of the plane enclosed by the triangle. A triangular region is the union of triangle and its interior. Now, what does it mean? For example, again, considering this example, what do you mean by triangular region? Actually, the sides, the three sides of a triangle, and the region. This is the interior of your triangle. This is the interior of your triangle, the red portion. So basically, the lines, the bounding lines, that is A, B, B, C, and CA, and the interior of the triangle. Collectively, they are known as triangular region. Okay, so this is the basic definition. A triangular region is the union of a triangle and its interior, that is, the three line segments forming the triangle and its interior. By area of a triangle, we mean the area of its triangular region. Okay, now moving on, the next definition, that is rectangular region. As we have discussed about the triangular region, so same is in the case of rectangular region. Again, the union of rectangle and its interior. The definition would be like the union of rectangle and its interior is known as rectangular region. Now, just read the definition. The interior of a rectangle is the part of the plane enclosed by the rectangle. A rectangle region is the union of a rectangle and its interior. A rectangular region can be divided into two or more than two triangular regions in many ways. Okay. So recall that if the length and width of a rectangle are A units and B units respectively, by unit means unit can be expressed as centimeter or meter. Okay. So then the area of a rectangle is equal to A cross B square units. Okay. So if A is the side of a square, then its area is A square units, as we have discussed in question number 2, part 2. Just he is talking about that if A is the side of a square, the area is A square units. Remember the formula that we have discussed in part number 2. Like in this case, in case number 2, this one, in case of square, he is talking about this, that if A is the side of your square, then area would be A square, like in this case that as length square. Okay, so triangular region, as this is having the same concept as rectangular region. Rectangular region is, this is the rectangular, this is the rectangle having sides A, B, C, D. So this is known as the rectangle, and the region, the interior, this is the interior. So the union of rectangle and its interior is known as rectangular region. Okay, coming on the next definition. As you can see in the figure, this is altitude. Altitude, I have explained that this is the height of your triangle. So here, these are the two definitions. The first one is for parallelogram and the second one is for triangle. Okay. So if one side of a parallelogram is taken as its base, the perpendicular distance between the side and the side parallel to it is called the altitude or height of the parallelogram. So first of all, we need to understand this definition, that what is it. So in this case, for example, this one is your parallelogram. This one is your parallelogram. Okay. I am giving the name A, B, C, and D. Now A, B is actually, this one is the base of the triangle. Now he is saying the perpendicular distance from any vertex to its base. Perpendicular distance, what does it mean? From, for example, if I consider this point, D point, I will drop a perpendicular from D point on the base of this triangle, making an angle of 90 degree. So what is the value of x? Okay, so whatever the value of x is actually the value of your height. I mean the height of your parallelogram, and height is also known as altitude of parallelogram. Okay, so this one, the portion, the line segment which is in the red color, this one is actually the height or altitude of your parallelogram. So same, we will see that we will drop a perpendicular in case of triangle. So coming on, Next definition. Okay, now the first one is the definition of height or altitude of parallelogram. But in the second case, as this one is mentioned in your review exercise, part number 4 of question number 3, that define altitude or height of a triangle. So first of all, let's have a look on the diagram, that how it looks like. For example, this is your triangle A, B and C. So in the same case that we have discussed in case of parallelogram, if I drop a perpendicular from point A on side BC such that this point is D, this will make an angle of 90 degree. So this one is actually, this is the height, or you can say that this is the altitude of this triangle, okay, in which BC side is actually, this is your base and AD is your perpendicular, means it, this one is the height, okay. So this is the concept, and I have done in part number 4 of question number 2, in which we have found the area of your triangle. Now, if you look at the definition, if one side of a triangle is taken as its base, the perpendicular to that side from the opposite vertex is called the altitude or height of the triangle. Okay. So now these all are the definitions included in your chapter number 16. Moving on the homework section, you need to solve question number 2 and you need to write all the definitions in question number 3 mentioned in question number 3 of your review exercise 16. Okay, so beta, this is all about your lesson number 36. So in the next lesson, inshallah, we are going to start our practical geometry. Okay, so till that time, take care of yourself and Allah Hafiz.